Fam, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. We have some breaking news as head football coach Kalen DeBoer, along with all of the assistant football coaches, along with Greg Byrne, along with basketball coach Nate Oates. The coaching contracts have been released, and we're going to play some video footage from the Board of Trustees. It was all approved just minutes ago. We are going to list out what what the coaches are going to be making for the next several years. And please run the thumbs up on these videos. This is a breaking update here at Bama Football on YouTube. While everybody gets checked in, I am going to play a short clip from Greg Byrne, kind of giving the overall details about each of the coaching contracts, and that's going to start right now. But please run the thumbs up on these videos. We appreciate you guys more than you know. And this was just honestly minutes ago. Here is Alabama Athletic Director Greg Byrne speaking about those coaching contracts right here just a few minutes ago. This is just in breaking news as Coach Kalen DeBoer's contracts, as well as everyone else, has been announced and approved by the Board of Trustees.
Appreciate all the support of our university leadership across the board, from Dr. Bell, Chancellor St. John, and our trustees. So thank you.
You're quite welcome. Yes, some very nice comments on you. So you've been quite busy. So the final 17 items are UA athletic contracts. So prior to opening the floor for discussion, may I have a motion to consider these items?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you very much. So I'll now recognize UA Athletics Director Greg Byrne to present these items.
Thank you, Trustee. Thank you. The first contract that I'd like to have considered is for our new head football coach, Kalen DeBoer. It is an 8-year contract that will go to December 31st of 2031. First year compensation of $10 million, and the final year compensation with raises during each year of $11,750,000. The next contract is men's basketball coach Nate Oates, extending it to back to 6 years. It would go until March 14th, 2030. The first year compensation would be at $5 million, and then the last year compensation will be at $7,550,000. Do note that his buyout, Coach Oates' buyout for the first 2 years through March of 26 would be $18 million a year, or $18 million if he were to leave the University of Alabama. And then the third year through March of 2027 of $10 million. And then the last year through March of 2028, $4 million. And I believe those first 2 years is the highest in the country from what our research tells us. The next contract we'd like to have be considered is Dave Ballou, our Director of Sports Performance. It would be extend the contract 3 years to December 31st, 2026. For an annual salary of $950,000 a year. The next contract is Brian Ellis, assistant coach, football, tight ends, a 2-year contract through February 28th of 2026 for $550,000 annually. The next one is Robert Gillespie, our assistant coach, our running backs coach. It's extending 2 years to February 28th, 2026. There was an error in the packet as far as the compensation. But it would be the 2 years at $850,000 annually. The next contract is Colin Hischler, assistant coach, co-defense coordinator, defensive backs. 2-year contract through February 28th, 2026. Compensation the first year of $625,000, and then the second year of $675,000. The next one is Chris Kapolovic, our assistant coach and offensive line coach, through February 28th, 2026. First year at $875,000. The second year at $925,000. Next contract is Maurice Lindquist, assistant coach, co-defensive coordinator, and defensive backs. 2 years through February 28th to 26. First year compensation of $875,000. Second year compensation of $925,000. The next is Courtney Morgan, our general manager for our football program. 2-year contract through February 28th to 26 at $500,000 annually. Next is Jay Nunez, our special teams coordinator, a 2-year contract through February 28th, 2026 for $250,000 annually. Next coach is Freddie Roach, associate head coach and defensive line coach, 2-year contract through February 28th, 2026. First year is at $1 million and the second year is $1.1 million. Next is Christian Robinson, assistant coach, outside linebackers, 2-year deal through February 28th, 2026 for $650,000 annually. Next is Jamarcus Shepard, assistant head coach, co-OC, and wide receivers coach, 2 years through the end of February of 2026, $1.1 million annually. Next is Nick Sheridan, assistant coach and offensive coordinator, 3-year contract for him. And the compensation will go from $650,000 for the first month that he was here. And then from February 1st to 24 through the end of February 25, $1,350,000. The next year, $1,450,000, and the last year, $1.55 million. After that, we have Kane Womack, our defensive coordinator and assistant coach, 3-year contract through February 28th to 27, starting the first year at $1.55 million, and the last year at $1.85 million. And then we did have one for Austin Clonch, but Nate Oates' success of having his assistant coaches become head coaches happened again yesterday with Austin going to UTSA. So just have 2 contracts to present for men's basketball. The first is Preston Murphy, our assistant coach. It's extending it 1 year to April 30th, 2026 for $450,000 annually. And then Ryan Pannone, assistant coach, for a 2-year contract for $360,000 per year, ending on April 30th, 2026. And those are the contracts we'd like to have considered, and we appreciate the consideration.
Thank you very much, Greg. You certainly have been busy. So, are there any questions or comments from the committee regarding any of these items?
Jeff, I may as well be consistent, right?
Go right ahead, sir.
All right. And Jeff, I just wonder if you wouldn't mind commenting, please. And you put a lot of work in, obviously, into trying to structure these contracts in a way that best positions both our basketball program and our football program for success, and for our student athletes also, to experience success in these programs. I just wonder if you just wouldn't mind commenting on how you view these 2 programs and the hires now, the leaders that you've selected or recommended for these programs. How you feel that the compensation that's being proposed is in line with what's happening in the marketplace, with what's happening in the changing landscape of college athletics, and how we can help our athletics programs develop these student athletes to achieve maximum success.
Thank you, Trustee Simon. Obviously, college athletics is under very unique, and it changes. We're adapting constantly right now. The University of Alabama certainly has been one of the leaders from a college athletics, college football, but also we have great history in many of our other sports, including men's basketball. And I think a big reason why we've been able to have that success is a united front from our trustees, from our president, from our chancellor, that certainly predates me, and that has been able to continue. Obviously, from an investment standpoint into our coaches, we have young men and young women that come here that expect to compete at the highest levels, both athletically and academically. And it's very important when we have coaches that we want to retain, like what we're doing here with Nate Oates, but also bringing on board like Kalen DeBoer. We know that's a very limited field to choose from, and a high level investment from high level coaches is an important part of the success that we've had in our department. And so I feel strongly that we've continued to show that with the additional steps that we're taking today. and really do appreciate the way they serve and they care about the young men and young women we have throughout our program, but especially with the programs that we're asking for today.
All right, fam, what's going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. What you heard right there was Alabama Athletic Director Greg Byrne going over all the coaching details. T, if we could get the graphic on the screen of everybody and kind of walk you through it. If you're just joining us, hit the thumbs up. What I'm about to do now is show you the actual graphics and kind of detail Coach Kalen DeBoer's contract, as well as several others, including Nate Oates, his new contract as well. And, 6 years, $5 million, up to $7 million with the $18 million. We'll go full screen on this so you guys can see it. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. We can minimize that banner here. But this is kind of in full screen, and we can even take off that bumper tee. But up top, you have Coach Kalen DeBoer. And if you have just joined us, I'm going to walk from the top all the way to the bottom. All this was literally just released and approved by the Board of Trustees. Just literally, 15 minutes ago. Kalen DeBoer up top, head football coach, 8 years, $10 million, up to 11.7 in year 8. Nate Oates, head basketball coach here at University of Alabama, 6 years, $5 million. And then 7.5 with a buyout of $18 million. And according to Greg Byrne, that's the highest buyout in the entire country. David Ballou, who's the director of sports performance, I have it here. I think it was 8. We'll go ahead and get an update on that. Brian Ellis, who's going to be the tight ends coach, is $550. Robert Gillespie, the Alabama running backs coach and assistant head football coach here at Alabama, $850,000. Colin Hitchler, co-defensive coordinator, DB's coach, $625,000. Chris Kapilovic, who is the offensive line coach, at $875,000. I'd be curious to see what he was getting paid at Baylor. Maurice Lindquist, co-defensive coordinator, defensive backs coach here at the University of Alabama, also getting paid $875,000. Remember, he was just a head football coach at the University of Buffalo before coming over here to Alabama. Courtney Morgan, who's going to be the GM, $500,000. Jay Nunez, the special teams coordinator, is going to be making $250,000. Freddie Roach, associate head football coach and defensive line coach, making $1.1 million, 1.1 this year, and then 1.1 in the following year. And I think he was up to like 850 or something like that previously. Christian Robinson, who's going to be the outside linebackers coach, $650,000, and that's what he was listed on the actual sheet. So I think it's just linebackers, but whatever the case, getting paid. And then you have Jamarcus Shepard, who's the co-offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach, 1.1, and I think he is also on a tier scale as well, meaning that he'll make like 1.2 the year after. Then Nick Sheridan, who was the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, he was paid $650,000 the first month, and his salary will be 1.3 and then 1.4. And then Kane Womack, defensive coordinator, is going to be making 1.5. And I think recently, remember that he was making, I think, 800, something like that, at South Alabama. So those are the contracts. Again, I'll put them one more time in full screen and get your thoughts inside the comment box. I also was bringing up kind of where comparatively Coach Kalen DeBoer is getting paid compared to other coaches, top coaches from across college football. I'm going to bring that up in 2 seconds, just so you can kind of see where he ranks. And from what I have, this is from 2023, and this article is from Front Office Sports. And what it does is it actually lists Coach Saban up at the top, making 11 point. So I'm going to zoom in right now. You're going to see me move to this, and then I'll come back to the screen, and I'm going to also upload this video so you guys can get an opportunity to rewatch this. But what you're going to see is a screen transition in 2 seconds. But comparatively, and this was back in 2020, how things looked across college football. Now, Coach Kalen DeBoer making $10 million his first year at Alabama. Okay, so let's kind of look at the top. And again, this is October 2023. Nick Saban up at the top is making 11.4, and this is from Front Office Sports. Dabo Swinney at Clemson making 10.9. Kirby Smart at Georgia, 10.7. Ryan Day at Ohio State, 10.3. Mel Tucker, who was fired at Michigan State, was making 10. Lincoln Riley, of course, it's a private school, so you can't get the actual numbers, but an estimated $10 million. Brian Kelly at LSU, 9.9. Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. Obviously, that changed with him no longer there, but 9.1. Kind of, paint the picture. Same thing with Mark Stoops and and Josh Heupel, just to kind of give you an estimated area. I'll kind of scroll down to see if we can. It should have. I think Kalen DeBoer was making under 5 or something like that at Washington. But, Washington clearly did go after him. So anyways, kind of gives you an update in terms of where Coach Kalen DeBoer is being paid across the world of college football. What do you guys think? You guys happy with the contracts? I think when you look at everything, I mean, college football, it certainly pays the bills. And, this is a monumental day. Really, all of these contracts are passed. I never watched, personally, a board of trustees meeting take place. And they didn't really, Coach Greg Byrne presented it, and they all were in favor. And that's it. So that's how, that's where the contracts replace. I'll bring it up one more time so you guys can get a full look at this. But again, Kalen DeBoer making $10 million and up to 11.7 in year 8. Hit the thumbs up if you like contract. Nate Oates as well, getting a new deal. And that is a lot of cheddar. And I think there was some talk about Robert Gillespie going somewhere else. I don't necessarily see that. He's getting paid here $850,000. Gillespie also has the title of assistant head coach and the running backs coach. And you looked at who he's been able to put in the league and about to put Jace McClellan. So there you have it right here on Bama Football on YouTube. This is just a breaking update. I appreciate you guys being here. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. But Kalen DeBoer's contract now in. We will talk about it on our show tonight, which starts at 6 p.m. Right here on Bama Football on YouTube. We got Coach Smook coming in to continue to talk about Alabama football as it happens. But this was a breaking update right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Kyle Henderson and Bama Football on YouTube. Run the thumbs up, and I will catch you guys soon, or as news happens, right here on Bama Football on YouTube.